This will sound a bit weird, but when you think of it, by the end of the day, trading kind of is a 50-50 event. It's not like roulette, because in the roulette, everybody thinks it's a 50-50. It's not 50-50 because there's what? There's that weird, usually colored 0 number instead of black and red. But there's a 0 that messes up with the probabilities of it being 50-50. That's why you lose on roulette. But in trading, it's always going to be 50-50 because in trading, like this, right? We like measuring which way the wind is blowing from in Lithuania by licking our finger and putting it up into the air, right? Keeping the win ratio above 50% is going to be so easy if you just push a button without emotions, without thinking, and you do it with consistent basis, with a strategy of risk management behind it. On paper, to be fair, to be a profitable trader, if you're a good bank manager, if you're a good risk manager, if you can work with your balance well, just like, for example, as a poker player, weirdly enough, you don't need everything that I told you so far in the last 2 weeks to be profitable. You don't need to be right to know the next price move if you can simply manage your risk profile well. We will talk how to manage risk and psychology on week 4, we will. But for now, we're gonna try to dive into a little bit of it, all right? And I will try to lead this conversation to something very interesting. Let's say, fingers crossed. First example for this is my win ratio, for example, right? Last year, I closed my trading accounts with a win ratio of over 70%. It was 70.4% win ratio. I accumulated 40% growth with it. 70% win ratio, 40% growth. This year, my win ratio is sub 50%, which is annoying. I am annoyed by that. I'm losing more trades than I'm winning. But this year so far, even though it's not even the end of the year, I accumulated over 48% growth. I accumulated more growth on the trading account, even though my win ratio went lower by almost 25%. Am I profitable? Yes. I'm not even profitable. I'm even more profitable this year, which is hell yes. Even though my win ratio is shit, which is totally true, it doesn't really matter going towards the ultimate goal of trading, which is profitability. So this table is just for you to take a look. You don't need to know this information. That's why I said this class is going to be a little bit different. This class, I'm going to put you into a place where you're going to realize a few things here and there. For example, an epiphany could be that, listen, if I'm doing a 50% win ratio trading, I only need 1-to-1 risk reward for statistically for this to be valuable. Longer term, very long term, not week into it, not a month into it, 12 months, 2 years, 5 years into this, all right? Why am I able to be incredibly profitable this year, even though my win ratio is sub 50%? Answer is very simple. My risk-reward ratio is a lot higher than 1-to-1. Usually I aim to 1-for-3 win ratio. When I risk 1%, I want to make 3%, right? But this is incredibly hard to manage. Simply because a lot of times you're going to open a position, which is going to be, let's say, 1-to-1, but you're going to close a trade early. You're going to close the trade too late. You're going to be greedy like I was on the stream on Tuesday, right? And you won't take the partial off away from the marketplace. Sometimes you're going to be late to enter, right? Even though it's going to be 1-to-1 risk reward, you're going to be late to enter, so it is going to become 0.7-to-1 risk reward, right? Even though it's going to be looking for you like, yes, I'm at 50% win ratio and 1-to-1 risk reward. By the end of the week, you're going to be a loser sometimes. Why? Because a lot of it will have to do not only what you look for, not only what you hope for the market to do, but how do you execute it. A lot of things will happen that will influence the actual utilized risk reward, right? Predicted risk reward, when you push a button, and utilized risk reward are going to be two very different things for you. Let that sink.